Third time tonight, and the last time. If it happens again, Marcus, I'm just done. Like, I'm done. We'll do this next week. So, Jay Lethal. I don't know how much of the conversation was picked up, but Jay Lethal was accused of sexual improprieties by Taylor Hendricks, basically saying that if she didn't sleep with him, he wouldn't help her get booked. Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting were supposed to do an investigation. Nothing came of the investigation, so either they didn't do an investigation, they found nothing in the investigation, or they swept it underneath the rug. Either way, we're left with a lot of dangling a lot of dangling questions. I was going to try to make a Celebrity Jeopardy joke, and my tongue just decided to say to me, and I'm like, all right, fair enough. So basically, we're in a situation now where Jay Lethal is both Schrodinger's cat. He's both guilty in the eyes of many and innocent in the eyes of others. So I don't know what some people are expecting. One accusation, one allegation, I don't think is a good enough reason to blackball a dude. Now, I don't want to diminish the severity of situations, but there are differing penalties for differing crimes for a reason. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like, when people talk about grown adults sleeping with 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds, and they call them pedophiles, that's not true, because the term pedophile is so much worse than that. Pedophiles sleep with, or want to sleep with, children, not functional adults that can produce offspring. So it's so much worse when you talk about actual pedophiles as opposed to people who want to sleep with teenagers. Still gross, still skeezy, still buzz worse when you actually look at the term that you're using. So when you look at Jay Lethal, you can sit here and say he's creepy. Sure, that tracks. Maybe he did. Maybe he did try to proposition Taylor Hendricks work for sex. Maybe he did. At the end of the day, though, that's still not the worst thing that's happened in wrestling in the last year. And frankly, even though it happened in like 2017, 2016 or something like that, it wouldn't rank the top 100 this year. So I feel like there's no good reason to blackball the guy. It's not a Joey Ryan situation. It's not a Velveteen Dream situation. So I feel like this is a different beast entirely. I feel like this is more akin to, if anything, Tommy Dreamer turning a blind eye. I don't feel like Tommy Dreamer should lose his job with Busted Open or Impact, but I feel like a suspension was warranted. But with Jay Lethal, nothing that we are aware of has ever come out about him in an official capacity other than an allegation. So I don't feel confident with that alone to bar the dude because he's got a sterling reputation otherwise. Now, I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if he's a good dude or not. I don't know. I'll defend people like Marcus until I'm blue in the face. But Jay, I don't know Jay. Jay's great. He's a great performer. Love Jay. Don't know if he's a good dude, though. Like, Ric Flair's not a good dude. We know that. People still love him, though. So I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
one way or another, we can't make a definitive decision. So.
Yeah, ultimately, at the heart of all these cases, oftentimes, we have to wait for a lot of these people to Joey Ryan themselves so we get a definitive picture, even though we know we weren't there and we're not an actual party. And some people just kind of walk themselves into, like absolutely not. It's like everything you said is counter to everything, to everything that you're saying. So, yeah, you're guilty, buddy. But, I think for a lot of these situations, like you said, it kind of comes down to the mob mentality, and in certain scenarios where it has to be fire every time there's smoke, and that's not necessarily the case.
Mm-hmm.
As we spoke extensively about the Amore situation, the Enzo scenario, where, thankfully for that friend of hers that seemed to be morally upright, if you will, was like, no, she's BSing. She does this kind of stuff a lot. It's the kind of person she is. And then people kind of some people had to reconcile with the fact that, you don't like this guy, but he didn't do this heinous act that you wanted him to be associated with because you didn't like his character in the beginning. So, well, some people you're just not going to be able to change their mind, but for other people, hopefully that scenario kind of pause them on jumping to conclusions because it makes them feel better about a decision they've already made in their head. So, but I can't say this is a bad sign in any means from a talent perspective.
No,
for sure.
no. I don't know if he's the same headliner he was in 2015, 2016 when he was feuding with Jay Briscoe and did the whole "that belt made you, I made this belt" promo, which is still one of the greatest fucking promos of all time. But
Yeah.
I feel like his ability to add to the mid card scene brings a lot of legitimacy to it, and he's still fairly young. I think he's only 36, if that, because he was what 19 in 2005, 16,
Yeah.
20. Yeah, he'd be 35, give or take. So, you know, I think there's something there for Jay. If more information comes out and we have more allegations, then yeah, obviously pursue them. But if there's nothing out there, then you're nothing you can really do about it. So kind of gotta just pass on by. Speaking of passing on by, the wrestling industry refuses to pass on by Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is a free agent, and Jeff Jarrett is always looking for his next work. He said, quote, "I'll just say this, for WWE to have that many talents released is quite remarkable, as much as the releases are, but it's the industry and the world we live in, especially with the pandemic and the ebbs and flows of our industry. But I'm not going to let you know who I would pick. I'm going to keep that between my ears. But I will say this. I do not believe when you look at pre-pandemic 2018, 2019, leading up to the pandemic and then now, that the amount of uncropped, uncontracted, or independent contractors that are out there are available and aren't tied down contractually because WWE, yes, they are the first and foremost largest organization, but there are also talent in Ring of Honor as of late. The ebb and flow of talent on the market into Mexico, into Japan as well. So I don't believe that it's been a better opportunity for the open market. It like in the real estate business, there can be buyers and sellers markets. I think this is industry. I'll just say that there's a lot of opportunity out there for all involved. The independent promotions are going to benefit from this, and I think at the very core of the territories were the lifeblood, but it doesn't matter. An independent promotion right now has the opportunity that they've never had. When you go back to where we started with TNA in 2002, coming off the demise and closure of WCW, there wasn't a lot of talent, quote unquote, on the market. But as has time gone along, and like I said, Ring of Honor and all the different promotions and connectivity with social media and digital age, the opportunity for independent promotions today has never been this great. Could Jeff Jarrett be steering into a new indie promotion? Marcus, would you like to see another Jeff Jarrett promotion?
I don't know. Kind of in the middle about that. But I will say, I mean, with going back to the Jay Lethal thing for a second, like it is interesting and maybe potentially telling that, a lot of writing is on the wall in terms of the future with the Ring of Honor because, essentially Jay had made that his home. And the fact that he was like, nope, you know what, not even gonna be a final battle. I'm gonna just go here. The potential for I think being on the side of a promise that Ring of Honor is coming back, Jay jumping like that may be like the best indicator for what the future may not hold for the brand. So, that being said, that space that's left by Ring of Honor is right for the picking with something like a new promotion, which may be you know snatched up by somebody like Jarrett. But I'm kind of on the fence because of the whole GFW
Cash for
turnout of it.
gold.
Yeah, that did not finish well. They had potential, and it felt like he kind of came in and tried to absorb Impact into that, and then that didn't work because Impact is like that roach in the radioactive explosions every year, or it was.
Just keeps getting
Um,
bigger and bigger and bigger.
it just keeps getting like, damn it, it lived again. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Like you want to root for a guy like Jarrett, uh, kind of know his story in a lot of instances, but you just kind of got to be leery. Kind of let me see this as it goes along, because I can't. Like you fooled me once.
Now, he did help bring guys like Karrion Kross, Herv and Gerv Shira, who else? Reno Scum, Christina Von Eerie, to the forefront. He was also one of the real big first promoters to put like Nick Aldis in a situation. He had Chael Sonnen as color commentary. There was a lot of good in that GFW. What was it? Pilot, I guess you could say. Kenny King and Joey Ryan were Chippendales. That was interesting. So like the Congo Kong was there. So like there was stuff that he found that worked. I would be interested. You know, I like Jeff Jarrett as a promoter. I think he's a very good promoter. Personally, I would really love. I would really love to see Jeff Jarrett and Dixie Carter return to Impact in some capacity. I think that would be very interesting. But we'll see what it ends up being in the long term if he ever does actually return to promoting. That being said, someone has already returned to the ring. Jonah, forget his name, Bronson Reed, I think is his name in NXT. Jonah Reid, I think, at one point. So he's back in wrestling. He debuted for New Japan Strong at, what was it called? The Battle in the Valley on Sunday, I think is what it was, Sunday night. And apparently the show was really good. And Jonah Rock had a big old debut. Marcus, I think you were a fan of Mr. Bronson.
Yeah.
Is this a debut that will spur you to watch more New Japan or Impact? Because there's a lot of Impact talent on the show, so we don't know really where he's going to go or where he's not going to go. But are you interested in seeing where he goes from here?
Yeah, because I'm looking to see if he just the transition, like what a character and what he's doing. I mean, obviously he'll keep doing what he's doing in terms of his size and moveset, but in terms of that character, how he's gonna maybe switch some things here, add, take away, whatnot. But yeah, he's like Lethal. He's also another hell of a talent. Obviously, the tenure is different between those two, without question. But Bronson is definitely a player. So in New Japan, this is the American brand of it. So that's a hell of a pickup, man.
I'm definitely gonna watch the show after we get done recording. So I'm interested in how this turns out. Okay, let's see. Moving on. Tony Khan defends Papa Khan. His father apparently bought ownership of a Four Seasons Hotel Toronto back in 2016. The hotel was previously owned by Kingdom Holding Company based out of Saudi Arabia, and some have compared the purchase to WWE signing a 10-year deal with the Saudi General Sports Authority. Okay, so hang on. His father bought a Four Seasons hotel in Toronto. Marcus, this is the dumbest story of the year. Found it. Took us till November, but we found it. Dumbest story of the year. Tony apparently spoke on this and said, I've wanted to say something for a very long time. I'm just going to say it. I've never brought this up, but I see people saying it, saying stuff online, and me bringing this up will probably only make it worse. But I'm just going to say, my dad bought the Four Seasons Hotel in Toronto from a person who was a Saudi person 5 years ago. That is the beginning and end of it. It is very much an apples and oranges thing when you compare the ongoing business relationship that other companies have going on with Saudi Arabia to what my dad did purchasing a property and moving on from one person, not the government. But I see people say Shahid Khan did that. That's bullshit. He goes on to say, I've seen people say it for years. And if you're a wrestling fan and you see people say it, I would ask you to say that's not the case because my dad is not involved in ongoing businesses. He bought this hotel a number of years ago, very different thing from what's going on in that part of the world. For years, I've wanted to mention this, and since we brought up Canada, I thought it would be a relevant thing to say. So let me say this. I am no AEW fanboy. Shocking. But Tony's right here. Like, so, Marcus, to have an issue to do business with someone from Saudi Arabia on the emphasis and exclusionary idea of them being Saudi Arabian is in itself xenophobic and maybe even racist. To say that you cannot do business with someone from that region of the world because, well, you're from Saudi Arabia, you must be evil. That's some xenophobic shit right there, my friend. He bought a Canadian hotel, and they're comparing it to fucking Blood Money and Mania. I don't even care. Wrestling fans are stupid. They're fucking stupid, man. People are stupid. This isn't a story. Marcus, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, I'm right there, which is kind of a non-thing for me. I mean, man's got money, do what he wants with it. Obviously, somebody may have a different opinion on the whole, way he chose for the hotel to be at. But it kind of is what it is, man. Like that's what you do when you got enough money to take risks. You take risks, So it's not a thing. It's not going to directly affect Tony or whatever. But how things are now, anything affiliated with anybody about AEW for a lot of these fans, they're gonna blow up the narrative because they
Hmm.
just kind of want to be in the mix of it all. So that's what that is.
They made an incorrect prediction some time ago, and now need to jump on any and every little thing to justify their intelligence because they have no self-esteem. It's okay to go, hey, I was wrong. You can do that. It's fine. It's possible. I don't have a problem with Sadiq Khan buying a Canadian hotel from someone who wasn't Canadian. It begins and ends there. Like that's it. That's the end of it. So, yeah, fun. You people need a hobby, a different hobby. Speaking of people who need hobbies, Will Ospreay's back. He's staring down the main event of Wrestle Kingdom Night 2. It's either going to be Shingo Takagi or it's going to be Kazuchika Okada. We'll find out who night 1. Night 2 is going to be Ospreay, though. Marcus, do you want to see Shingo or Okada take on Will Ospreay to unify the titles?
You know me, I'm going Shingo all the way.
Shingo Ospreay.
And with Shingo, with Osprey talking that crap he was that one time on that show, I feel like he got a receipt coming anyway from the Dragon. So
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I don't think Shingo has the same name value as Okada, but then again, if you're trying to have the best possible matchup, I think Shingo can do it. Definitely.
mm,
And I feel like you're not going to take the belt off of Shingo for Okada just to have Okada just drop it back to Ospreay. And I feel like you're not bringing back Ospreay just to have him lose the belt. So Shingo makes the most sense in a logistical sense. We'll see what ends up happening, though, as time clicks by. Speaking of time clicking by, the last story we have is a new promotion. It's called Terminus, based off of the Walking Dead camp group thing. The promotion is called Terminus Modern Age Grappling. It's going to be ran by Baron Black and Jonathan Gresham, and they are looking to revitalize Atlanta as a city for pro wrestling, something that the NWA has been trying to do for the last year or so. And the NWA's commentary is terrible. Don't watch. Or watch on mute. Certainly don't pay for it. It's bad. Velvet Sky and I forget the dude with the hat and the hair, and he's like 70. They're terrible together. They're just the worst. They are insufferable. But Marcus, this seems to be kind of in the scope of maybe a Josh Barnett Bloodsport because it's emphasizing modern age grappling. Do you want to see a wrestling show or a wrestling promotion emphasize the graps of wrestling like Jonathan
yeah,
Gresham does?
it seemed more like a more modern, streamlined version or um of what we got with the because like I said, I came back to Ring of Honor as a viewer and fan through the Pure Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Gresham was thriving. That's where he was on top there. Obviously, he had just dropped the title to Chad's favorite Ring of Honor talent, Josh the Goods was. Um,
Don't do that to me.
but well, nothing's good over there anymore right now. So unfortunately, but yeah, this seems like it's gonna be that, and I kind of even appreciate it more through watching the Pure Tournament. So, I don't think Gresham would take this leap of faith if he didn't, have an opportunity. And really, when situations like this come up with Ring of Honor, you got to bet on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
specifically if you're not gonna, because everybody can't go to the AEW, and I don't know who's trying to go to WWE with what just happened with their exodus of talent. So, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this goes, and I hope it works, man. That Jonathan Gresham seems to be like a quality guy, so I'm hoping that this works out for him.
I am too. It seems like a good idea. And if he does like a monthly show in Atlanta, it opens up the opportunity for him to do other things as well. I'm still hoping he lands an Impact because I think him and guys like Speedball Mike Bailey will be a very interesting situation to explore. So here's hoping. Anything else you want to touch on before we go?
Oh no, that was pretty much all the big stuff. So yeah, that was that was something about apparently Charlotte did an interview with like BT Sport and discussion came up of she getting so much flack and whatnot about her consistently being on top because she's a woman. And then Baker was like, it has nothing to do with gender. She sucks. She's a cunt to everybody. She holds people back. Yada yada yada. It's it's interesting what's going on with that whole thing.
It's always something else with her. It's because she's a woman or because she's Ric Flair's daughter or it's always something else other than her fault. It's interesting. It's interesting. So, realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdcorp.com. We have a new WCW and a new Wrestler of the Week going up tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. The show will be up on the website tomorrow in 3 parts because reasons. You can find us on Twitter at NERDCORP. Marcus can be found on Twitter at Paradox Kid, PARADOXKID.
That's me.
That's the kid with the B. That's the Kib. You can also find him on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, TRUEPENNYSHU. I'm so tired. The True Penny Show on Twitter, TRUEPENNYSHOW. There it is. You can find me on Twitter as well at Chad Nerdcorp, CHADNERDCORP. There it is. And on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. CHADSPHOTOHUT. I'm so done. Be sure to tune in next Monday for another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. For Marcus, I'm Chad. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember, as always, to watch more wrestling. Marcus.
Good night, me.